Hi, this is Dr. Barb. I'm with Colorado State University Extension over on the Western Slope. And today we're going to do another viral cycle episode. And this one is on the shapes of virions. And they come in a variety of shapes. Okay, and so together with this video, we also have a lesson plan. And in the lesson plan, it has some of the things that you'll need. In addition, you'll need to get some other supplies like a pair of scissors, some tape, some thread or string. I had trouble finding my string, so I'm just using some thread. That works too. And where are my paper clips? Here they are. They were hiding from me. You'll just need 2 paper clips. And you'll need to print out pages from your lesson. Pages 3, 4, 5, and 6. So page 3 looks like this. Page 4 looks like this. Page 5 looks like this. And page 6 looks like this. Now you'll need to print them single-sided because we'll be cutting them out and making shapes out of them. So I'll be here while you go get your supplies, and when you come back, restart the video and we'll get started on what we're doing today. All right, so you have your shapes. The first thing you want to do is cut them out. And you want to try to keep these, these points right here connected to the other thing. I'm looking at the camera and it's putting me backwards. I'm doing goofy things. So you need to cut this out. When you get to here, we want to cut around the circle and then cut down so that your circle stays with your rectangle. And on this one, you need to cut out the jagged all the way up. And so it's just the outer outline of this. On this one, I have a trick to help you cut this one. You want to cut out along here. You want to cut out along here. And then to cut out the individual pieces, say I've cut out most of mine, I have one left. Then it's easier if you angle your scissors. I'm going to move the camera down so it's easier for me to do this and you to see. Okay, so this is the one I'm working on, and then it's simply going like this and cutting one way, and then like this and cutting the other way. It's a whole lot easier to do it that way than it is to try to move your scissors back and forth. So you need to cut that one out, and then this one, I find that if I cut it out too far, I lose track of where the zigzags are. So I'll cut out one side and then cut out these, and then I'll cut out the other side and cut out these. So that's a trick for that one. And then the last one, this one, is a lot of pieces. And so what we're going to do is we're going to save this one for last. So you can wait and do that. And you'll notice this shape is the same as this shape. And this shape is the same as this shape. And what it is there are some virions that are complex, and we'll talk about those. So go ahead and pause your video and cut out your shapes. And while you do that, I'll get ready with my my stuff so that I can show you how to put them together. Alrighty, are we ready? Okay, so here are my shapes. Let's see, I already put this one together. So this is the one with the rectangle and the 2 circles. And you can see it's a little easier to have the circles attached. So the 4 basic shapes are spherical, and this is what makes a sphere. And this is icosahedral, which is a shape that has 20 faces to it. Icosahedral is just a really cool word. And then this one is a cylinder, and the last one is complex. And I've already put my complex shape together so you can kind of see what it's going to look like. Now this one is my model, and I made the little rings here a little bigger so they won't be as wavy for you. They'll actually look a little better. So that's the complex. So we'll hold off on that one and do that one later. And for now, what you want to do is just start by folding. And in this one, always find it easiest to fold up to this shape here and here. Oh, I forgot a really important step. You want to color these because these are virions. They're not solid geometric shapes. A solid geometric shape, even though these are hollow, they're referred to as solid geometric shapes. I always thought that was funny when I was young. I was like, they're not solid, they're hollow. How come they're not hollow geometric shapes? But it's just what they're called. And so you want to decorate it to look like the virion. So in the lesson plan, on page 2, I have found some images primarily from the CDC so that you can see what they look like. So here is, this is a tobacco mosaic virion, and attacks tobacco plants. It's a scourge of tobaccos. And you can see it's called a helical. So what it does is it makes a cylinder shape, but the DNA is wrapped around like that. And so I would make my cylinder to look kind of like this helix. And then this one is the icosahedron shape. And this is from the virus that causes polio. And you can kind of see the shapes of each of them. This is coronavirus that causes COVID-19. And inside of the proteins that are on the outside, it's a spherical shape. And then finally we have the last one. These are bacteriophages. They only attack bacteria. They don't attack any other cells other than bacterial cells. So you want to decorate it to kind of look like what the virion's going to look like. And just for now we'll do the helical, the icosahedron, and the sphere. So go ahead and decorate your sphere, your icosahedron, and then before you put it together like I did, decorate this to look like the spherical. I'm sorry, not the spherical. Decorate this one to look like the helical that it goes around. So go ahead and color those with markers or pencils. I think I forgot to include that in the supplies you need, but you'll need color markers or color pencils. So go grab those, decorate them, and when you come back, then we'll fold them. All right, I didn't decorate mine because I don't like taking everything away. So the first thing you want to do, you see all these lines. And when I fold my lines, I always like to fold them so that I can see the line. So I fold it up and I can see the line right along the edge. And you need to fold every single edge. So I fold it over and over and over until I have all the edges folded, and I know that every single line now has a fold. So there's that one. With this one, the sphere, you just want to take it and fold each line in between like that, so that each of these, let me do it this way so you can see it a little bit better, so that each, get it back, there we go. So I'm just folding where it connects to the next little, here's a kind of oval elliptical shapes. And a trick is you want to make sure that you're folding them as close to the line as possible so that it's as precise as possible. And once you get all your lines folded, then we'll put them together. So go ahead and pause here and fold all your lines. With this one, all you need to do is fold the 2 circles down. And we'll talk about how to put this one together. Go ahead and do that, and I'll be here waiting for you when you're done. All right. Well, you can kind of see that they're taking shape. And so what you want to do is with your tape, see where that connects, just put a little piece of tape right there. Now sometimes you can find these shapes on the internet and they have tabs on them, so it's a little easier to fold them. but I made these shapes myself with the computer program I was using. So I didn't make the tabs. So you can see that's now like that. And then what you're going to do is pull the shapes, pull these ellipticals together to start forming your sphere. And you put a little piece of tape on each one. To make each sphere. And over and over and over, and you'll notice that it starts to form this. So you go on one side, and then you go on the other side until it starts to form this a sphere. Sometimes, if you get something like an orange to put it inside as you're making it, makes it a little easier to form it until you get your sphere shape. Okay, so there's that one. And then this one, I folded all the lines, and you can see how it comes together. So what I want to do is match these two. So I have the little triangle here, the little triangle here, and it's the center triangle on them that I want to match up. So it's, let me show you, it's this one, and it's this one. So it's, oops, I'm sorry, this one. So it's the two that seem to be like in the center. And you fold those together and then tape it right there. And you can see it's kind of forming that shape already. So what you want to do is go ahead and tape everything. Leave the last flap open. And on your sphere, it's a little easier if you don't tape like the last two together as you're making it. I put a sphere together and one of my dogs got it, so I can't show you my sphere. I forgot to make a new one before I started this. But anyway, I'll show you at the end what you do. So go ahead and fold all your shapes together, and then I'll show you the last step in making your virions. Let's pull it back so you can see. All right, everything folded, all your shapes ready to go. The last step is the thread represents the genetic material. Now, if you remember from the from when we were making the models out of the egg salad sandwich model, I love those egg salad sandwiches. I think it's the cranberries. Anyway, so what you want to do is take about 2 feet of your string or thread. And I was fortunate to find heavy-duty thread because I think it's a little easier to see. And this represents the genetic material. So if the virion has DNA, it represents the DNA, either single-stranded or double-stranded. And if it has RNA, it represents RNA. It's just the genetic material. And what you're going to do is just insert it into your, let's see, there we go, into your virion. And that's so it's like a model plus looking at the shapes of these things. So I put it inside. So then each of your virions has the DNA inside. If you wanted to do this one correctly, what you do is you take it and tape or glue stick your thread along this inside of the cylinder. So when it's closed, it's actually taped along there. All right, and the last shape is the complex shape, the bacteriophage. When I first learned about these, I used to have nightmares. They're kind of like scary movie things. These have a head, a neck. This is called the tail, and these are called tail fibers. And you can see that they have these little spikes on them. Those are called spikes, or there's another name, fins. I don't think that's right. I forget. I always call them spikes. And what they'll do is they'll land on a cell. And they only do this with bacteria. They'll land on a cell, and then the fibers spread out, and the spikes puncture into the cell, and then the DNA that's located in the icosahedral will then get injected into the bacteria. And scientists are actually using bacteriophages. Bacterio means bacteria. Phage means eating. Bacteriophage. They're using this to deliver or to kill diseases that have become, bacterial diseases that have become disease resistant. Very cool. They don't need to insert any DNA in it. They don't need to insert any kind of antibiotics in it, because these kill bacteria. So if we have a disease in us, and this is the bacteria that attacks that specific disease, scientists are using bacteriophages in us to get rid of the disease in an effort to eliminate the disease-resistant or the antibiotic-resistant bacteria that are making it harder and harder for us to get healthy. So these are your shape models. And you can, let me get back in focus. And you can use these and tell your family and friends about them. You know, talk about the different shapes on the bacteriophage. Oh, one of the things I wanted to show you. We didn't cut it out because it's just made out of the same shapes. But it has, I put for the fibers, I use my toothpicks. Paper clips. I do know that's a paper clip and not a toothpick. And you just bend your paper clip. I almost called it a toothpick again. No, I didn't. You didn't hear that. Not for me. Okay, so, and if you have a pair of needlepoint pliers, sometimes it's a little easier to bend it. But then what you want to do is bend it kind of like this. So this loop part is what goes inside, and these stick out. So you just poke it through, and the design has a place. I don't know if you can see it. Let's see, right in there where the legs come out. I put in X and Y, so you can see the XX is one paper clip and the YY is the other paper clip. And then you can spread them out so they can stand up on the table if you like. And you can tell your parents about them. Your brothers, sisters, and friends. Talk about, this is similar to the tobacco mosaic virus that I don't smoke, so I don't care about tobacco viruses, but I know the farmers who grow tobacco do. This is one similar to the shape that causes polio. Polio is a dreaded disease. When I was young, Jonas Salk came up with the vaccine for polio, and I have friends who had polio. I have a friend who was never able to walk because her mom had polio, and when she was carrying my friend Carol. So, dreaded disease. So we have a vaccine for that one, and that's good. And Jonas Salk didn't patent it. It's actually that vaccine belongs to all of us because he'd never patented it. And then this one, the spherical is like COVID-19, so you can actually decorate that one to look like COVID-19. So I hope you have fun. Finish out your viruses, and I'll see you for the next one where we're talking about the size of these particles. How big are they? And you have fun stemming.